Hey everyone, it's John, and today we're going to be looking at the Python network automation framework pyATS, as well as the main tool to interact with it, Genie, which provides a rich and simple library for you to easily automate your network with little to no programming knowledge. Now, pyATS Genie, I think, is probably the best entry-level network automation solution, and it provides a solution for testing and validation. I think you're going to see that it's really simple and really powerful. So the plan for this video is to go through the basic installation, very simple, explain what a testbed is. I'm going to give you a script to create your own testbed, and then go through some basic functionality and features, and then finish up with a little tip and trick which I've got to show you how to easily read your output. Okay, so that's the plan for the video, and with that said, let's go and do it. Now, before I start, I think I must address this because some people have actually asked me about this setup which I've got that seems to be causing a little bit of confusion, which is not the point. All this is, see this little Linux box here, it's simply an icon. I just add that in so it makes it a little bit easier to conceptualize what's going on. The real connection here is just this network. This is going to be the management cloud you get in EVNG, and it allows me to connect to my actual computer. Now, in my actual computer, I've got Windows running, but I've also downloaded the Linux subsystem for Windows, and from there, I'm actually connecting in. So it's basically me connecting my Windows PC to the EVNG topology. This is just to make it a little bit less esoteric. When some people just see automation happening from the cloud, it looks a little bit more mysterious than it should. I just dragged that on so it makes it a little bit easier. You can see it's just coming from a server. It's basically a Linux PC controlling the network. So with that said, that's out the road. Okay, so I've got a basic configuration here. I've got some BGP and some OSPF. I've put some root reflectors in the middle. I've put some random access list on, I think, router 1. And the purpose is just to grab, just so we've got information to grab and that Genie can learn. So that's the generic kind of basic outlook. I think what we'll do now is just do the installation, so you'll see it's pretty easy. So I'm going to open up my Windows subsystem for Linux, and all I'm going to do is do pip3 install Genie. And it's just going to go and collect all the data and pull it in, and then Genie will be accessible to us. Okay, so that's Genie now installed. I'll just clear this. And what I've actually already done, I've actually created a little folder. So to create that, I've just do mkdir Genie and enter, but I've already done that. So if we go into the folder and we've done ls, you'll see that I've got a testbed created already and a testbed script. I've created this script so you can easily kind of bootstrap your own configuration without too much hassle. So let's look at the testbed, not testbed. Okay, so vim testbed.yaml. And all this is, it's basically a map of the topology which I've got here, okay? So, scroll up, I'll just GG up the top. So, basic YAML file, you can see we've got 3 hyphens at the top. It's got this basic format of testbed. Credentials are the login details, so on each device I've created an SSH connection. The username is John, the privilege is 15 to escalate straight to privilege exec mode, and the password I've got is Cisco. I've denoted that's here at the very top. The next thing is just little devices. So devices are 1, the alias, the iOS is basically the type of operating system it's going to be interacting with. It's not iOS XE or XR, it's just an ordinary iOS, and it's viral images. Here is the defaults. Unicorn.unicorn, this is what pyATS uses to handle the CLI connection. You'll be using that. SSH is how we're going to be connecting, and then the IP address, okay? The bottom part here is just some basic defaults. You just type in custom abstraction order OS and type, and then it's just pretty much a repetition for the next device and each device as you go along effectively. Now what I want to say is here, there's one thing you really need to be aware of with Genie, is that when you create this, okay, see the actual device names, it's got to actually match what's on the actual device. So see the name is R1 here. R1, which I'm connecting to, the IP address of 31.11, that's got to actually have R1. Genie's going to be looking for that to parse it, okay? So you'll get an error if that doesn't match. So if I go into here, you'll see that the device actually is called R1. It's not called like RTR1 or something, okay? It's got to match up. So just be aware of that, because I had a few issues at first because I shorthanded it, and I was trying to think, why am I getting an error? That's basically what it was. So just be aware of that. And like I say, what I'll do is just escape this, quit you. I've created this actual testbed script, so you can create your own. So this script will actually generate your own testbed file with all the indentation and spacing as you need. The only thing you need to change would be the username if you've got a different username, the password if you've got a different password, as well as the IP address and the loop range depending on how many devices you're actually connecting. So let's say your name was Stephen, let's go with that. Stephen here, let's say your password was Cisco1, you change it like that. And rather than 192.168, we go with 10.0.0. And we'll start from 1 to, let's say you get 20 devices, so 1 to 21, if you know Python, that's what that'll be. And if we just do a run, we'll see we'll actually generate that testbed file here, okay? You see that? So get a testbed here for Stephen Cisco, R1, the IP address is now 10.0.0.1. R3 is 10.0.0.3, so on and so forth. And you can just easily edit that. Like I say, if you wanted to have 100 devices, change that to 100. Change this to Lauren. Change this to 172, 16, 14, and then run it. It'll generate your testbed, okay? So now you get a testbed for Lauren, Cisco1, different IP addresses, and it goes all the way for all these different devices with all the correct indentation in that, okay? So if you want to do that, use that script. I'll put that on my GitHub along with other links when this video is finished. You'll be able to see that. So like I say, the way to actually run that if you wanted to create this, you would just say Python 3 and do testbed script and just redirect it and just give it a name. We'll call this IPvZero.yaml. And if we vim IPvZero, we've now got that testbed, okay? That's the way you generate your own testbed. Okay, so we don't need that one. We'll just remove that, move IPvZero, because the one I'm going to be using is just this one here, okay? Oh, don't do that, John boy. That's us. So, like I say, we've got 8 devices. That's them all there. And this is all we really need from Genie. Genie will understand this information and can do all the rest. So the first thing we're going to do with Genie is we're going to go and gather, just bring that up actually, we're going to gather some information about the network. Now Genie is pre-configured, it can learn pretty much everything about the network, or you can pick specific parts of the network to learn. So the first thing we'll learn is perhaps OSPF, okay, we'll just learn the OSPF configurations on the network. So we go up here, and the syntax is quite simple. All we need to do is do Genie learn, and then we're going to say we're going to learn OSPF. Then tell it that the testbed file, and this is where we give the testbed, so we're going to be using this testbed file, okay? So just type that in, and then dash output, pretty much where do we want to send the output to. So we'll send the output to what we call this folder, OSPF original. This will be the original OSPF. And if we just push enter, Genie's going to go and learn all the OSPF information. Oh, how about you actually do that right, John? That should be YAML. Now it's going to go and learn that information. And that's us now gathered all the information about OSPF, and you'll actually see it's got the summary. It's got these 2 different structures, the op structure and the device console. So if we just scroll up, we'll see that it's actually learned that from all the devices here. Okay. So like I said, because I specified that directory, we're now going to have this directory created, see OSPF original. So if we cd into OSPF original, that's where all these files are going to be. Now the connection ones, we don't need to worry too much about this. This is just pretty much how Genie parsed the information. It set the terminal length to 0, so on and so forth. I'd just like to see that actually quite quickly. These are just the things that Genie ran on the machine, okay? Terminal length 0, terminal width and whatnot. That's not really important. The stuff we're really looking for, to see the ops ones, this is really going to give us the information. The console is pretty much the commands that it runs, so I'll show you that as well actually. So R1 console, you'll see all the OSPF commands, just a lot of them as you can see there. For example, it did a show running configuration section router OSPF, section gigabit01, all these different commands. Okay, so that's in that, but like I said, the real jewels are in the ops. This is going to have, so we did a cat op r1 ops. It's going to show you all the data, and it's structured data. It's all in JSON format, which is really handy for piping this information into other devices and other programs. So for example, rather than having your normal CLI, which you need to kind of scrape through and try to make it readable, for example, APIs can understand this information really easy. So it really simplifies your ability to structure this data. That's, like I said, grabbed lots and lots of information about the OSPF configurations. Okay, but like I say, in real terms, this isn't really where the magic of Genie lies. I'm going to show you that now. It's really in the ability to compare changes in configurations. So let's say that I went on to, let's pick a device. Let's grab router 8. And what we'll do, if we do a show IP in brief. Okay, so if I create another loopback and go int loopback 1 this time, and we'll give this one 89. And we go into router OSPF 1, and we do network 89, and we'll make it in area 2. Okay. So now if we go to the other devices, that should propagate through. And we see that's type 3 LSA, so we've got 89, which is fine. So let's say somebody was operating on our network, maybe a junior administrator or whatnot, and he's made this change or she's made this change. Let's say we didn't like the change, something happened to the network, we wanted to kind of target what actually happened and what was different. All we would do is simply relearn the new state of the network. So let's just run the same command again. We'll do Genie learn OSPF again, and we're going to give it the testbed file, the exact same. Testbed.yaml, remember this, right, John? Okay, output. And what will we call this one? We'll call this OSPF new. Okay, keep it quite straightforward. And it'll go out and grab all that information. Okay, so that's it now, relearned the network in terms of OSPF. Okay, and the difference is now that it's created this folder called OSPF original. So we're going to OSPF original this time. We're going to see the same type of thing, all these new files. But here's the thing, okay, if we go back out and we use this command, we do Genie, in fact I'll just ls, we'll do Genie diff, basically Genie tell me the difference between the OSPF original setting and the OSPF new setting, and put the output to a file called OSPF differences. Okay, and that's it now. It's quickly compared them, and it's saying that a difference has been found on all the routers, which makes sense because all the routers will now have a new update in their OSPF table effectively. So let's go into OSPF differences, and we'll cat differences. We'll just pick one, pick router 1, and then it tells you straight away here. Okay, so type 3 LSA has been learned. Here is the network, the advertising router, topology mask, the metric, so on and so forth. This is what's different in the network. We've now got this new type 3 LSA advertising this route, and you'll see that these little plus signs here, that means that something's been added to Genie. If you see a minus, that means something's been removed. So somebody maybe removes a route or removes an access control list, you'll see minuses. If they add something, you'll see pluses. So on that note, what I want to do, if I can type, what I want to do is show you a little tip and trick to make this a little bit easier to read this. So what I'll do is I'll actually go back to my home directory. Now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to upload this little text file to my GitHub as well, so you can just copy and paste it in if you want to do this. If you don't, completely fine, it's just, it might help you, I find it quite helpful. So the first thing I'm going to do is just git clone this with a link, just copy, paste that in, enter. So now we've got this new directory called dev shells essentials. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is edit the bash rc, and we're going to create this alias, and the alias is going to use this dev shells essential tool to highlight the plus signs as green and highlight the minuses as red. Okay, so let's do a sudo nano.bash rc. Okay, so let's just go and grab this. Just copy you. And we'll just get down a little bit here. I've actually added this in already, as you can see. So ordinarily this would not be here, okay? I've actually done this already. But if this was just empty like this, all you would do would just be paste it in, okay? Control O, Control X, so it's now in the actual file. So that's that. Now what we can do is if we cd into this and we just type the word source, dev shells, okay? So that's that. Oh. So now if we go back to our Genie folder and we did our cd OSPF differences and we did say a cat R1 again, this is where you'll get the same output, okay? But if I do cat R1 and I pipe the output to ZX, it's going to highlight them, okay? So it makes it a little bit easier to visually see if you've got a lot of changes. So that's a little tool to help you out there. And by the way, what I will say, see if you close the terminal and open it back up, it won't work. So what you need to do is go straight into dev thingies and just do your source dev shell essentials and it'll work again, okay? So just be aware of that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is just do a little bit more learning. So we do a Genie, and what we'll do is we'll learn ACL, we'll learn the access control lists. In fact, am I in the right directory? I don't think I am. Nope. Going to Genie, where the testbed is. And we'll do Genie, learn ACL, and testbed file is testbed.yaml, and the output we'll just call this ACL original. We'll go and learn that information about ACLs. Now I think there was only router 1 had an ACL configured on it, but we'll see. Okay, so if we do an ls, we do you know what, I'll just make this cd and ACL original ls. If we cat maybe ACL iOS R5. Yeah, so for example R5 you just got these null, there's nothing here, okay? But if I did this on say R1, we're going to see a lot of data here. This is all my access control list I've configured on this, okay? So if we just go up to router 1, like I say, if we just do a show access lists, we've got a bunch of access lists, so I'll just go into this one, actually I'll cancel that, and do IP access, access list extended, firewall, and maybe take this one out perhaps. So just do a no, take that one off, and maybe do a permits, TCP any going to destination 13, 14, 15, 16. We'll do EQ, I don't know, www, whatever. Okay, so we've now changed the access control list. So let's say somebody had done that without your actual knowledge. There's some kind of issue in the network, we have connectivity issues, somebody can't reach a certain network, some traffic is coming through that shouldn't go through. You can easily check this no matter how big your network is just by using Genie. So if we pull this back up again, and you know what, we'll just go into our CD and we just do Genie learn ACL testbed file, get the syntax right, testbed.yaml, and the output, we'll call this ACL new. Genie's going to learn that information. And there we are, it's been learned. So if we go in to cd acl new. We've got all these new files, but here's the thing, we're going to do our little test again. So we go and just do our Genie diff, tell me the difference between ACL original and ACL new, and put it to a file called ACL differences, whatever. And just do that. That's us. So it tells us straight away that 8's identical, 7's identical, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 identical, but there's a difference being found on router 1, and you can find that difference in this directory and in this text file. So if we go into that directory as it said, we go into ACL differences, we'll find this little text file with the actual differences. So if we cat that, going to get the output. Okay, so we see these pluses and minuses, but like I say, I like to use this little tool, pipe it to ZX, and it makes it a little bit easier to see. Okay, do you know what? Alright, okay, so as we can see, we've actually removed a permit, or sorry, a permit's been added for this host, TCP EQ80, and we've also removed a deny, and this is all the information there. So you can see straight away, just by running Genie, it tells you this has been added, this has been taken off, this is probably where your problem lies when it comes to access control lists. Okay, so I mean, you really can do this with so many things. You can learn BGP. What you can also do, I won't even really go through this fully, but you can actually just do Genie learn all, and again give it the testbed file, testbed.yaml output, and just call this all. And what it's going to go and do is learn absolutely everything about the network: ACLs, ARP, BGP, .1x, EIGRP, routing policy, routing, static routes, STP, absolutely everything you can think of, VRFs, and it's just going to pull all that data in and save it into configuration. What you can then do is, once something's happened to the network, grab information about everything again and just run a Genie diff all one, Genie diff all 1 and Genie diff 2, and it's going to compare the two and tell you all the changes between the working network and the new configuration. Very, very useful for validation and testing. Okay, so as you can see, we've fully profiled the network now, and you'll notice this API doesn't work because we're using iOS. It doesn't actually have API capabilities. That's just normal, that's fine. So we did cd all. Look at all that, we've got all this output for the entire network, completely profiled. Any changes are made, take another snapshot and just compare the two, and that's that. So that's pretty much the end of the demo. All I want to do is show you one last thing to show you how to quickly parse information and get the information back in JSON format, and then we'll wrap the video. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a list of the actual available parsers. Now what I would do for this would just be go to Google and just do actually Genie device output parsers, I think it is. Yeah, Google that, Genie device output parsers, and you click on this top link, and if you go to readily available, we're going to see all the available parsers. These are the commands you can use. Now these are for XR, I'm going to filter for just iOS, and these are all the things I can just type in. Okay, so let's just grab one. What we do a show BGP summary. I'll try that one. Okay, so if I go here and I do Genie parse show BGP summary, I think it was, wasn't it? Yes, BGP summary, and again just give it the testbed file so we know what network we're working with, and it's testbed.yaml, and the output is, just call it BGP summary parsed, and that should parse that. Go through all the devices. That's us now. We should now have all this in JSON format. So BGP summary parsed, and if I did say R3 parsed, we're going to have all this BGP information I've configured and readily available, these kind of dictionaries. So it's really, really easy to reference. and this is the type of language that your machine, your APIs want, so it makes it really easy to do that. The creators of Genie have made it a lot easier for people like me who aren't professional programmers or software engineers. We can just get that functionality really easy. So that's pretty much it. So like I say, Genie, I think you can probably tell, is a really powerful tool, and it's actually very easy to learn. I think it might be the lowest barrier of entry I've seen yet. I thought Ansible was quite simple, but I think Genie really is the best of the bunch so far. So that's pretty much the end of the introduction to Genie. I hope to do more with pyATS Genie in the future, do more on Nornir, that's coming up soon as well. So yep, that's pretty much the end of the video. So thanks very much, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.